Good morning, and we're coming to you live from the SDG Media Zone for the All for the Green Week in Bologna. This is all in support of the G7 Environment meeting that is taking place right now. My name is Max Edkins from the Connect for Climate program of the World Bank. And please join us online on the Connect for Climate Facebook page, as well as with the hashtag SDG Live and hashtag All for the Green. So today I've got the great honor of having Andres Useche. Thank you for joining us, Andres.
Thank you for having me.
So Andres is a filmmaker, director, musician, and activist all across the board. So maybe just to get started, I think we're going to watch your music video. So we see your work, and then we can discuss it a little bit and talk about the exciting projects you've got coming up.
Fantastic, thank you.
La sed en la sequía, fui carbón que contamina, un nevado en deshielo. Fui derroche y mi condena fue tan propia como ajena, causé islas de desechos. Fuimos humo, fuimos pena, somos aire, somos tierra, somos vida, somos fuerza. ¿Y qué vamos a dejar? Dame sol y dame viento, purifica el firmamento a nuestros hijos, nuestros nietos. ¿Qué les vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? Presión que desmorona las fisuras en la roca, traje fuego hasta tu llave, con gasolina en mis venas, yo vi rayos y tormentas inundando nuestro bote. Fuimos humo, fuimos pena, somos aire, somos tierra, somos vida, somos fuerza. ¿Y qué vamos a dejar? Dame sol y dame viento, purifica el firmamento a nuestros hijos, nuestros nietos. ¿Qué les vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? Hay esperanza, hay un planeta en la balanza. Si tu ejemplo da confianza, lo podemos reparar. Nuestros actos en cadena son el cambio que se acerca, el futuro que se siembra. Se los vamos a dejar. ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a dejar?
Andres, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
So maybe just for our more English-speaking audience, maybe you could just explain a little bit what the main message of your music video is, and then also, how did you get into making that video?
Okay. So the music video is called Lo que vamos a dejar, in English, What We Leave Behind, and it's all about thinking about the next generations and not letting greed take control of the world. You know, somebody has to take care of the air that we're going to breathe and the oceans that we need to sustain ourselves. And if we leave it up to corporations, nothing's going to happen. So I think as a filmmaker, as a communicator, a songwriter, what I could do was try to reach out to people and let it know that they have a voice and try to empower them to take action in this important issue.
And the issue is mainly climate change, or is it also the broader kind of environmental degradation and the need to protect the environment?
Yeah, you know, well, the two are very much intertwined, correct? So I think taking care of nature has been a big priority. I also did a couple of videos earlier that had to do with protecting marine life. One with Take Part about the cove and the animals, the dolphins and saving the dolphins, and another one with oceanographer Sylvia Earle that has to do with just protecting the oceans in general. But I think climate change is something urgent, is undeniable, and it's something that we need to act upon. So when leaders try to block progress on that effort, I think it's up to the people to rise up and take the challenge head on.
Indeed, and you might actually like to know that, so besides having our digital media zone here, we also set one up in New York for the UN Ocean Conference, and we had Sylvia Earle visit us there.
Fantastic. She's great.
And talking about the Cove, we screened Racing Extinction, Luis Sayos' new project, up on the giant screen outside.
Fantastic. Great people.
And I just want to pick up on that message where you say, it's all intertwined. And I think that's very much the truth behind also the Sustainable Development Goals, is that, if you take action on climate change, if you reduce greenhouse gas emissions, you inevitably also promote sustainable energy, you also encourage education for all, and you protect the environment. So maybe you could just explain a little bit of the history of that video. When did you make it, and what got you into wanting to make such a music video?
Okay. So my first music video was Si Se Puede Cambiar, which was in support of then candidate Barack Obama. And that was the first time I got active, and reacting also to the previous administration, which in retrospect wasn't as horrible as the one we have now with Trump. So I got involved through Barack Obama, and I was fighting I made a few videos about immigrant rights as well, but I realized in that road that not enough people, I thought it would be something so obvious, so necessary, protecting the environment, that everybody would be, up in arms defending it, and I was sad to discover that was not the case. So I felt I had to do what I could, and in the video there's collaborations with For Love Productions and Sacha Mama, who have been great acting in the United States. So collaborating with them and collaborating also with the university in Colombia, trying to create that connection between the two countries is what led me to that.
Absolutely. So I also just want to pick up on your current work now. So you mentioned that raising awareness about climate change, making the climate solutions available to all, and using the media of film and music to reach a broad audience is really one way of doing it. So what are you working on now, and how do you aim to keep on using the creative industries and the creative arts to make sure that we build kind of a popular acceptance of the climate solutions that are available and that are actually really exciting to be a part of?
Yes. Well, on one hand, obviously we can all recycle and we can take our individual actions, but what makes a massive change is when we tackle our leaders head on and demand that they represent us and represent the planet that we should be stewards of. So my role as an artist, I believe, is also to create that empathy. When we were talking about everything being intertwined, that also means creating consciousness about how all of us beings on Earth, all the animals and nature need each other for survival. And sometimes we forget this. So creating empathy is a big part of it, connecting emotionally, and then intellectually, the facts are there. It's just a matter of not letting anybody deny them, and making those facts known that climate change is real and that we can take action to reduce carbon emissions, for example, and make an impact and survive.
And that's very much the message we've been seeing all week, actually, here at All for the Green. And also for the opening of the G7 environment meeting yesterday, the empathy and the strength of the message that climate change is real was very much there. And everybody kept on, all the ministers were also praising and quoting the Pope's message on Laudato Si, that we need to protect our common home to ensure that, we continue to survive and live in harmony with our fellow species. So I think it is very much there. And we've also seen it globally with the Paris Climate Change Agreement, as well as the Agenda 23, which outlines the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So you're living in the US at the moment. How do you feel about the state of climate awareness and climate progress in the US, and then maybe compare it also to Colombia?
Okay, so I live part of the time in the US, part of the time in Colombia, and in the United States, I feel well, I live in a blue state. Unfortunately, California and New York, there's a greater awareness, you could say, but at the same time, I feel we could be more connected and effective if we turn that into also political action, okay? So for example, a lot of people protest, if Trump pulls out of the climate accord or everything, but we also have to realize we do have the power to put pressure on our leaders to make sure they represent those values that we want enforced. So.
And in Colombia, what's your sense in Colombia?
In Colombia, I can speak in a smaller scale. I was surprised to find a great movement in the universities. I come from, my alma mater is Universidad de Caldas in Colombia, and there was an event there to support climate change awareness. And so part of the video that you saw was made with the help of a Colombian crew and part of the Universidad de Caldas. And at least on the side of the youth, I saw a big, a powerful movement growing that makes me very optimistic about the future.
And one of the messages we've also heard throughout this week was really that climate action needs to happen across the board. So everybody needs to be involved. And we're seeing a lot of activity happening with individuals on one hand, but also on the business level and on the city and the regional and state levels. And that is really where the solutions are being implemented and the opportunities are being created. I mean, the amount of jobs that the renewable energy industry is creating, or the climate smart agriculture and land management systems, all these are new industries that are driving great awareness and profitability, which is actually a really exciting prospect, and it's really exciting to be a part of that. So maybe in closing, what's your message for the Facebook audience that's watching us live, and how would you encourage them to be part of the climate and environmental movement?
Okay, so my message is we need to act, and we need to act now. It's very urgent that we do everything we can on the personal level, on the political level, in every arena, because it's not only for our sake, but the next generation's sake. And we can support clean energies, clean initiatives, and protect the environment, joining organizations, local organizations, and please staying connected in forums like this is very important, because it's going to take the whole planet to save the planet. So, thank you.
And with that, thank you very much, Andres. So we've been live on the Connect for Climate Facebook page in support of the All for the Green Week here in Bologna, as the G7 Environment Ministers meeting is happening around the corner. Thank you for joining us online, and stay connected with the hashtag SDG Live as well as the hashtag All for the Green. And we look forward to continuing our program. Thank you, Andres.
Thank you so much.
That was excellent.